Hello, my name is Antonia Rolls. I'm an artist extraordinaire and I also support people holistically at the end of their lives, and I support people with loss and bereavement. So welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to talk about sitting with someone who is dying and one of the tools that I use as a holistic end-of-life support and companion. I'm not medically trained, and our USP, unique selling point, is that we are simply family or friend or compassionate support. As such, we offer ourselves, our time, our loving energy. This, alongside the excellent medical professional care, is essential. It is soul work. It is about love, relationship and simple presence. We already have the tools to ease our loved ones' journeys, but we feel that it should be more complicated. It isn't. The professionals do their job, wonderful to have them, and we fill in all the time and spaces around that. If the professionals are the stones filling a jar, we are the water filling the spaces in between. Simple. I would love for everyone to feel able to accompany our dying loved ones as they fade away and out of this life. We have a history with them. We know who they are, and they know who we are. When supporting anyone at the end of life, I form a relationship with them. Sometimes I have to do this very quickly because there is not much time left. I once visited a lady in hospital because her family were worried that she wasn't facing up to the seriousness of her illness. They said, "Our mother hasn't mentioned how ill she is. We're worried that she doesn't know she is so terminal." When I went in to see her, she was very weak, and she said things like, "Oh, I have had such a good life. I am so glad I had all my children and grandchildren." She went on to say things like, "I hope everyone will be okay, and I wonder what the spring will be like next year." And it became clear that she knew exactly what was happening. I told her family that she knew that she was going, that she was at peace with it, but they hadn't understood the language that she was using. In their anxiety and distress, they thought that she would say something like, "I'm dying now. I understand what is happening. Thank you for everything. I will go next Tuesday." That would have left absolutely no room for doubt. And at this stage, her family was struggling with the whole dying thing. They didn't know what they were seeing, didn't know what to expect, didn't understand what was happening. In this case, the relationship I had to create was with her family. They needed support more than the mother, who was not only in good hands, but was at peace with her own death. When family and friends are caring for or visiting a dying person, we need not fear getting it wrong, because we already know what makes that person feel loved and cared for. And unlike many professionals who do such a good job but have time constraints, we do not have time constraints. We can sit with our loved one for a few hours and chat, read a book, look out of the window if they're asleep. We can give our support by our presence without having to rush away, and there is a bond already formed of our relationship with them. We're not strangers. We know who each other is. Someone once asked for help with visiting their dear friend in a hospice. She'd been too afraid to visit, feeling inadequate and worried that such a visit could go wrong, as if she, the visitor, could hasten her friend's death by making mistakes without knowing it. "How shall I do it?" she asked. "Can you give me tips?" I told her that if this was her old friend, she knew already how to be with her. Her friend wouldn't want a formulaic visit fraught with tension. She would just want her old pal to be there. I told her to just go and be herself. That would be all her friend would want. Just be there, I said, and don't pretend. Just be you. Most of my work has been at the bedside of patients who have had a terminal illness and time to prepare their death, and it will not be a surprise. As a holistic end-of-life companion, I use a system of the elements to help discern what stage someone is in. This is a useful guide. The elements are earth, water, fire, and air. So earth. When someone is in earth, they begin to withdraw. The world becomes much smaller, perhaps just to one room, and they are easily tired, perhaps frail and a little unsteady on their feet. This is what we see in old age, when people spend less and less time in the outside world. People in earth begin to lose interest in life outside and find that their strength diminishes. This stage too is accompanied by a change in body odour. You know this smell when you walk into a sitting room in a care home. The earth stage is associated with slow shutting down. People in the earth stage may feel forlorn. They may begin to lose a bit of weight. They may remember the past more than the present. What to offer somebody in this stage is kindness, patience. Sit and go over the past, reminisce, do memory work, and look at photos. Play music, put on the radio with things that they like so that they can listen and snooze and do not have to concentrate too much. Keep them warm with soft blankets and do nice things like manicures, making sure their hair is cut and looks good. Make sure they look well groomed. Offer comforting food and make lots of cups of tea. The next stage is water. This stage is about emotions. Someone in water may be very tearful, needy and clinging. They may not want to be left alone, fearing loneliness and isolation. This is a stage where old soul wounds may surface, something from the past that has not been addressed. A shameful secret or a terrible experience or an argument that was never resolved. It is bound to come up during this stage where emotions can be overwhelming. When I was new to visiting the dying, I was very alarmed by the sudden change in the lady that I was supporting. In between visits, she had become really afraid to be alone and kept crying and shaking. When I tried to leave, she simply wouldn't let me go. I didn't know what to do, and I thought I would have to stay there all night. Luckily, the matron of the home came to my rescue and took me out of the room. "Don't worry," she said at my alarm. "She will not know you have gone as long as someone is with her. Someone will be with her now until she is less distressed, and she will come through this." And sure enough, I saw that the lady had another carer with her and was holding the carer's hand, oblivious to my having gone. This lady was deeply in the water stage. Other signs of being in water are loss of control over bodily fluids, thirst and dry mouth, and the sense of taste may change. Someone in this stage may complain that the drink or food they have had for years is different. It doesn't taste the same. How do we support someone in water? Well, we listen. We really listen. Sit and hold their hand. Offer tempting foods, and don't be embarrassed by whatever happens with the bodily fluids. They may become incontinent, their nose may run or drip, they may dribble, their eyes may water. Offer companionship. And for some reason, pineapple juice is really soothing to a dry mouth. So try offering that. Put lip salve on dry lips. Then we go to fire. Now, this can be a challenging stage. This is about anger, fight, and strength of feeling. This is where your loved one may simply not want to do this dying anymore and may try to get up and walk off. They may become very angry indeed about everything and pick dreadful arguments with everyone. My husband, Alan, when he entered this stage, tried to get out of his hospice bed and leave the building. He was a very big man, and it took 3 nurses and me to keep him in the bed at one point. "Leave me alone," he shouted. "I'm dying." My mother, in the fire stage, became so incensed by people in her house, nurses, carers, all of us, not respecting her, that she found the strength to get out of her bed, go to the conservatory, and shout at everyone in a complete meltdown. It didn't last too long. My daughter managed to get her back to bed eventually with prayers. As a devout Catholic, this was the only way to calm my mother down. But it was a very powerful anger and left everyone reeling. People in fire are agitated and begin to refuse food and drink. They may be feverish, they may become dehydrated. They may see things and talk of visions, and we must accept what is real for them and not tell them they're imagining things. They may have tunnel vision and only see what is in front of them. In this stage, go to the end of their bed and talk to them from there so that they can see us. We can support this stage by acknowledging that they don't want to eat or drink anymore. It can seem alarming that they won't take sustenance, and we may feel obliged to make them, but this is part of their journey and we have to accept it. Offer gentle companionship. Speak calmly and soothingly. Again, keep their lips moist with lip salve, and if they become very hot, try to keep them cool. The final stage is air. So this is the final stage, and it is from here that our loved ones will depart from this world. In this stage, they are less interested in physical reality, are often unconscious, and when awake, are not really present. They may be breathless, which becomes laboured. They may begin Cheyne-Stokes breathing, which is when periods of shallow breathing alternate with periods of deeper, rapid breathing. The deep, rapid breathing may be followed by a pause before it all begins again. There may be a rattle in their throat due to the build-up of mucus in their throat or in their airways. Their eyes may roll up and appear half open. Their extremities may be cold to the touch. What we can do here is to support the family and the friends present. We can sit in vigil. We believe the patient can still hear, so tell them that they are loved and safe, and to go whenever they are ready. This stage can take a long time, or it can be very quick. My mother was in this stage for nearly a week. Another lady I supported was in this stage for only a few hours. If you wish, pray and speak softly and lovingly, or just remain silent. Be there with your presence and be kind to yourself too. I have heard that a patient can also smell at this stage, and so perhaps something gentle like a pure scented candle would be a good thing. For one lady at this stage, I put fresh lavender on her pillow because she loved lavender. These stages using the elements are only a guide along the journey towards a death. People do their dying in their own way and may not all follow this at all, but I keep it in mind to help place where somebody is on their journey out. The best tool for accompanying the dying, though, is your presence, your love, and your patience. I hope that you found this video helpful. I would love for you to comment and to like it and subscribe. If you do that, it helps more people see this, and I can make more content that you may like. If you are experiencing a death right now, have courage. You can do it. Bless you, and bye for now. See you next week.